If these guys making multi-millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars a year are saying don't go to university, I think there's something there.
When you're new, it's so easy to get excited and hear those numbers and think this is my ticket out.
In that 6 months, I tried everything under the sun. Like I got shiny object syndrome, hopping from one business model to another.
Dialing, no answer. Dialing, no answer. Actually just getting over that. A lot of people don't realize that's a muscle you got to build.
So I'm going to spend money that I don't have to get a lead booked on my calendar, but I don't know how to close it.
A 4-figure investment on a mentor in a specified subject. Yes, it takes time, it takes work to get to 10K a month. It's not 2 hours a day on a beach here in Bali.
I was selling PS4s on eBay. Like I was making $300-$400 some days, like at 14 years old. Why would I go work a job when I'm just doing this in my spare time?
Oh, Orlando's an influencer. I still remember the feeling I had of like, F you.
But only regretting life is not dropping out of school earlier.
They'll hear from the business owner, 10K, 20K a month, OTE. If you hit this KPI and this KPI, you'll hit 10K a month. Okay, who's hit the KPI? No one yet. Alrighty guys, what's going on? I am just in Bali as I am editing this case study that we did with Jax, who at 19 years old cracked $10,000 in pure commissions from remote high ticket sales. So this is a really interesting pod. We go over a bit of Jackson's background, his story growing up, what he was like in school, and then how he found high ticket sales, which wasn't shortly after he finished school, being only 19. We talk about his journey, what he learned, what he found helpful, obviously working inside of Closers Cult as well. And we actually show you some snippets of the coaching and the sales call that Jax and I had together. So yeah, hope you enjoy the pod. Sweet. Jax, what's up? Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, brother.
We're here in Bali.
Yep.
And yeah, just wanted to chat. And I think you're quite unique because I thought at 20, no, you're 19, you said.
19, yeah.
I thought at 19 I was mature. And then I met you when you were 18 and holy shit, like the maturity level is insane. Like where you're going is nuts. And I think I just wanted to like talk a bit about before sales because like people might see, okay, like he hit 10K months, cool. He's in Bali, he's traveling, he was in Thailand, all this stuff. But how did you, I want to get into how you got into sales. Then before that, like what you were like in high school, in school as a kid. So like, right from the start, like where did you grow up, like when you were a kid?
Yeah, so I grew up in Perth till about grade 2. So originally born in Sydney, lived there for a year, and then all of our family were located in Perth. So grew up there, and then from grade 2 onwards, grew up on the Gold Coast. And like if we take a step back, like I was always that kid when I was like 8 years old, 10 years old, selling candy in school. I was collecting all the cans on the street for the 10-cent return scheme, washing the cars, mowing everyone's lawn. So I was always like in sales really, but I just didn't know it. So I was always making money with some variation of a business, like dog walking and all these things under the sun. And this is why I was still in school. And then when we got to when high school started, there was 2 options. It was like you either be a landscaper, which my father was, or it's like you go to uni. Those were like the 2 paths. And then from probably grade 7 to grade 10, I was studying and like I was getting really good grades in school. I was getting A's and I'm like, okay, we're going to uni, going to do exercise, sports science. And then we get to around grade 10, I'm like, hang on, am I going to spend 4 years at uni doing something like I like, but I don't really want to do to make probably 100 grand a year? It just didn't make sense. And I'm like, hang on, some days, like even when I was selling PS4s on eBay, like I was making $300-$400 some days, like at 14 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, hang on, why would I go work a job when I'm just doing this in my spare time?
Yeah.
Let's go into business.
So you were kind of in sales like from the start.
I didn't even know it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you learned like, okay, there's better ways to leverage your time to make more money than just an hourly rate, right? Because if you can sell a PlayStation at a certain profit, then you can just do more of that. We will get back to talking to Jax in a minute. Now, if you do want to learn more about how you can make $5, $10, even $20 or $30,000 every single month in pure commissions from remote high ticket sales, just click the link in the description after you're done watching this video and I can walk you through it step by step exactly how it's done. Apart from that, enjoy the rest of the podcast with Jax. So from like grade 7 to 10, like what type of kid were you? Because like I up until grade 11, I was like huge follower in high school. Shit grades as well. Like didn't do well in school at all. It sounds like you did quite well. What type of like student or person were you in high school from like grade 7 to 10?
I was a bit cheeky.
Yeah?
So, yeah, I was suspended quite a few times during my schooling career, from probably grade 8 to grade 10, about 4 times. And it's like I always wanted to, I was like the class clown in a way. But the teachers loved me. So it was interesting. Some teachers hated me. That's okay. I get that. I was a bit of a dick in some of their classes. But a lot of the teachers are like, because when I walked into class, I'm like, hey, miss, how are you? How's the day been? Like, always respectful, always nice. And then mid-class, I'd do something at the back, be a little bit naughty, be a little bit cheeky. I get that. But, yeah, I was like locked in with the grades, and I think I got away with a lot of, I guess, cheeky activities in class because I had A's. And then from there, like from grade 10, I'm like, what am I putting all this time into school? And that's when I started like the self-development books. And I'm like, okay, let's go into business. Then grade 10, like grade 11 and 12, the grades really dropped. But then I was building the base for the business, self-development. And like, I'm not going to school. I'm not going to uni. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, during school, I was a little bit cheeky, but I was respectful to the teachers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a pretty interesting time.
When you were getting A's from like grade 7 to 10, did you find they came quite easy? Like did you have to study a lot for that, or were you quite naturally, like you just got it, you were quite smart? Like how did you get those A's?
So for physical education and mathematics, very easy. Like I remember one semester I like got the top in the grade of like 250 people for physical education. And then I think it might have been the following year, I got like the same award for mathematics. So like I didn't really study too hard with them, but I feel like I almost had like a photographic memory because I've always been curious with numbers. Like I'm a very analytical person. And then learning about the human body, it's because I was engaged in class. But the other subjects like English, talking about Shakespeare, like I'm not there. Like I'm physically in class, but my mind's checked out or talking to the boys mucking around.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about sales, obviously, but it's interesting to hear that you were analytical in sales, because I was the opposite. I'm very, like, I loved English. I loved words, communication. I loved all that. So it's interesting that you made it work in sales despite, like, being quite analytical. So then from grade 10, you found out about the business sort of world. Like, how did that come into fruition? How did you find that out?
Yeah, so in grade 10, I think it was just through YouTube, like watching Eman Gadzi, got introduced to Hamosi, and just watching all of their content. And the majority of the influencers in the YouTube space, they're like, don't go to uni. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be something here. If these guys making multi-millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars a year are saying don't go to university, I think there's something there. So that's when I think watching YouTube, like the self-development YouTubers, as well as reading the self-development books, really rewired my mindset and open up my perspective that there's something else out here rather than the traditional system.
So that was grade 10, so you would have been 16-ish?
Would have been, 16-ish.
And did you talk to any of your friends at school about it? Did you talk to Zen about it, or your family? Like, or did you just keep it to yourself for the beginning?
So I talked to Zen about it. So he's my brother, and we've always been like on a self-development journey, probably since around that time, I would say. And then at school, didn't really talk to many friends about it because I feel like looking back now, they're indoctrinated. Like the only plans either like get a job straight after school, or we go and get a trade for 4 years and then get a high-paying trades job after, or they go to uni. Those are like the only options. So when you talk about entrepreneur, they're like entrepreneurship, what are you talking about, bro? Like they kind of just dismiss it. So I'm like, okay, cool. If I'm like my beliefs and my viewpoints aren't getting received right here, I don't need to talk to you about it. I'll go and talk to my brother where we can actually have a in-depth conversation about and challenge each other about like this is actually what's possible if you apply yourself.
Yeah. Did you have conversations where you briefly mentioned it to friends at school and then you got that judgment?
Yeah, definitely. It was, yeah, like in our friend group, I always had a big vision, and it was knocked down quite a few times. It was kind of like a joke, like not in a rude way, but it was always like joking about it. So I'm like, okay, if you guys are constantly joking about it, I'm not going to talk to you about it.
What did they say? Like, how did you know it was like a negative response?
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was too negative. It was just because it was so abnormal to them. The responses were like, "Oh yeah, bro, like, yeah, you'd be an entrepreneur." It's like, okay, interesting, and I will be, and I am. So
Kind of like dismissed it.
yeah,
It's funny. I was talking about this at McDonald's when I was working at Macca's, and how I had the exact same thing. Like, oh, you're an influencer now. Oh, Orlando's an influencer, and it's just like, I still remember the feeling I had of like, fuck you. Like, I genuinely had that feeling. I can't lie. But that's cool. Okay, so you briefly mentioned to your friends, realized pretty quick, okay, they're not that receptive. Obviously, you got Zen, your older brother, which I think is, by the way, awesome dynamic you guys have. Like, to have another brother that's on the same mission, same mindset, like, that's unstoppable. So that's sick.
yeah.
So then from grade 10 to 12, what was like the first action that you did? Like, okay, you know, on a theoretical level, I want to do something online, something business-wise. What did you start doing action-wise?
In grade 10 to 12, I didn't take any action, and I was actually thinking about it the other day. I'm like, if I dropped out of school in grade 10, had those extra 2 years, got into sales 2 years earlier, that's like my only regret in life is not dropping out of school earlier, because I finished grade 12. So there was no action taken from grade 10 to 12. It was all just theory, like self-development, YouTube, like really changing my mindset. And then from like when school finished, so from grade 12, so when we finished, what class of 2023. So for the first 6 months of 2024, and I should add, throughout school, I was working for my father's landscaping business.
Okay.
So on the weekends, school holidays, and then when school finished, end of 2023, so start of 2024, I was doing some landscaping with my father, and then I'm like, okay, let's actually do something. I've got 8 hours a day, 5 days a week off my plate now. I don't have to go to somewhere I don't want to be, i.e. school. So let's put it into a business. So in that 6 months, I tried everything under the sun. Like, I got shiny object syndrome, hopping from one business model to another. I tried video editing, videography, car flipping. Lost $1,000 on that car, the Mazda 6. Never buy a diesel passenger car, but anyway, that's another story for another time. And then tried social media marketing agency, a like drop shipping e-commerce business. And then when I was launching my social media marketing agency, probably around mid 2024, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't even know how to sell. So I'm going to spend money that I don't have on marketing to get a lead booked on my calendar, but I don't know how to close them. So it just made no sense. I'm like, all right, let's be done with that. And then we started the sales journey.
Interesting. So when you were like, okay, I need to learn sales, what did you do from there? What was like the first step?
Yep. So I invested with my first mentor and absorbed all of that information. Took me about 1 month to land the role.
Just a quick pause for a sec. What was the mindset behind getting a mentor straight away?
It's a great question. It just seemed like a no-brainer. Like, coming from the thesis, like I just knew if I spent $30 on a book and I got decades of life advice there, if I go and spend like a multi-4-figure investment on a specified topic, how to get into high-ticket sales, land a job, scale to 10K a month, specified, it was just a no-brainer to me. And seeing how people spend 40, 50, 100 grand on university degrees for the 4 years to get a qualification, it's like, okay, well, if I want to get into a business model, why not just learn from someone who's actually done it? And that's the biggest thing. Like, for me, like, taking advice, not just from a mentorship perspective, but taking advice from someone. If you, like, it's like you're not going to take diet advice from a fat person.
Yeah.
So if someone's done something in an area of life that you want to do, I listen to them all day. But if I've got someone telling me, oh, bro, you shouldn't get into sales, there's no money in it, and like you're working a job, why am I going to listen to that? So I'm like, okay, if I can spend 4 figures with a mentor who's done what I want to do, made the money I want to make in the career that I want to go into, why would I not? So it was just honestly a no-brainer for me.
The reason I ask is like for you and I, like, yeah, I agree. It's a no-brainer. But like there are, especially so that would have been at 18, you made that investment, or 17?
That would have been 18, yes.
At 18 years old. Like you said, a lot of people do it willy-nilly for university, college, because that's the norm, right? Yeah, you spend 50 or 100 grand, but you know, it's on Hexstat. I don't pay it now. They don't see it now, so it's normal. But then doing, like you said, a 4-figure investment on a mentor in a specified subject that, yes, it takes time, it takes work to get to 10K a month. It's not 2 hours a day on a beach here in Bali. Like it does take work, which we'll talk about. But to do that in a year or less, or maybe slightly longer, like compared to a 4-year uni degree, and then maybe you get a job and you might fucking hate that job, and then you pivot. Like it's cool that you learned that early, because I speak to guys that are, you know, mid-20s, even 30s, that are only realizing that now. Okay, so you did your first mentor, and then what were the first steps? Like, what was maybe the first role you did, or the first pieces of action that you took to make that transition?
Yeah, definitely. So I, like, throughout that first 6-month period of 2024, I saved up some money. So I'm like, okay, the last 6 months of 2024, I'm going full-time sales, don't have to work a job, which I was really grateful that I...
What was the job you were working before sales? Sorry.
So landscaping.
Oh, sorry, you mentioned that.
Yeah. Saved up landscaping, and all the little side hustles, they added up. So there was a bit of cash there. And the first offer was a fitness offer, appointment setting. I was on that for about a month. Pivoted to a company that was selling like tradie business consulting for like concreters or electricians. And I was actually closing a $79 per week package.
Okay.
So for about a month as well. And then I wouldn't really call it closing, because it was $79 a week. No lock-in contract, fully refundable. So it's like, it's not really closing.
Yeah.
And then from there, got a setting role with a e-commerce company, and was with them for quite an extended period of time.
So with the first few roles, what do you think was the difference with them and then the e-commerce company? Like, why did you leave those offers?
Yeah, so great question. So the first role, the fitness offer, I was the only setter. So the proven sales system wasn't where I wanted it to be. Also, there was no one on that company making the money I wanted to make. So that was the first offer. The second offer, the like $79 per week program, that was a new offering that company produced. So like the natural progression, like their main ticket, their main product was like 45 to maybe 70 grand for a year. And the program I was selling was like an elevated program. Okay, let's scale these businesses up to maybe 10, 20K a month. Then they can afford the main program. So for me to start closing on the main offer with the second offer, the guys were making probably 40K a month, Australian. It was like, okay, you got to close on the low ticket, then you set the high ticket, and then you can transition to the high ticket.
Right.
And the guy that I was training under, he was there for 2 years and he was still setting. So that was a red flag for me. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna wait 2 years to start closing. And then the next company, being the e-commerce company, there were people making the money I wanted to make as a setter, which that verified that offer. And there were people making the money I wanted to make as a closer. And there was like really 1 or 2 main offerings. And I could see the transition there, which I eventually did have that transition.
So how long did it take you to get onto the e-commerce offer from when you started high ticket sales?
So that was for about 3.5 months.
Okay.
From when starting. 3.5, 4 months.
It's interesting you talk about the other offers, because this is a mistake I see in a lot of new reps, is they'll hear from the business owner, you know, 10K, 20K a month, OTE, on track
Tell
earnings,
me about it, yeah.
Right? If you hit this KPI and this KPI, you'll hit 10K a month. Okay, who's hit the KPI? No one yet. But if you're a savage,
it's realistic.
if you're a savage, you'll hit it. It's like, you want to be careful actually vetting the offer, because when you're new, it's so easy to get excited and hear those numbers and think this is my ticket out. But then the time it takes you to onboard, to learn it, to sell it, to then realize, okay, this isn't the offer I want to be on, and then find another offer. Like the opportunity cost is massive. But
100%.
It's cool you found that ecom company because obviously that worked out pretty well. So when you first got into or actually before that, when you got onto your first sales role, even though they might not have been ideal, what were like the main things you noticed or realized when you were actually on the phones? Instead of just learning about it, okay, I'm actually talking to people. Like, what were the first things you noticed?
I noticed how shit I was. Honestly,
Yeah.
like you can do all the theory in the world, but until you're on the calls, that's when the learning really starts. But the script for the fitness, it was quite interesting. It was just like a questionnaire, but I was getting the reps in, so I was okay with it. So it's like, hey Orlando, how are you? Hey, it's Jax from XYZ. Saw you left your information. Have a quick minute to chat. Yeah, cool. What's your age, weight, yada yada yada. Book them on a call. So it was very basic. There was no like sales skill really being used, but it was more just a conversation. But getting the reps on reps there was insane.
Yeah, because like just getting the reps as in actually just talking to people over the phone or dialing, no answer. Dialing, no answer. And like actually just getting over that. A lot of people don't realize that's a muscle you got to build.
100%.
Even if it's on a shit offer, at least you got that out of the way. You learned that so that when you got to a solid company, you were actually ready.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think they can just jump onto like an A+ offer straight away with no experience, no reps. It's like you probably fall on your face. You've probably seen that a lot, especially at that company, right?
Most definitely. They don't last long.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you got the reps, you learned that, actually talking to people, got better. And then how did you actually land the ecom offer? Like how did that happen?
That was through Zen. So that was through, Zen actually jumped on, Zen's my brother, by the way. He jumped on the e-commerce offer first and then introduced me to like kind of like the setter manager. And then just naturally, like no intention, hey, I want you to join this company. Just met them through networking. And then we obviously discussions came about it and then just eventually made that transition.
Nice.
So really networking.
And when you say networking, like what do you mean by networking?
So Zen introduced me to him.
Yeah.
And just being a normal person. Like honestly, like a lot of people overcomplicate networking. They're like, oh, how am I going to provide value so I can get something in return? It's like, no, just focus on being a genuine person, connecting with someone, actually understanding what they do, who they are, and where you can provide some value. And that might be providing value with a connection, an insight, or even supporting someone's goal. That's providing value. And don't expect anything in return. Because when you don't expect anything in return, you just give and give, it always comes back tenfold. I've seen it time and time again.
100%. And also when you were just being a genuine person, I imagine like noticing how you are when I'm around you, you probably presented well, right? You didn't show up in like, you weren't overweight, you weren't out of shape, you didn't have like a messy beard or, like you probably looked clean, you dressed well, you presented yourself well, you spoke well, which I think is important too. Okay, so was that in person by the way? Or was that over
So
Zoom?
that was all on WhatsApp.
Okay,
It was
cool.
just all through WhatsApp.
And then you got an interview or did you just get put straight in?
So it was like, hey, Jax, you've got to take an interview, but you've got the offer. Just don't mess up the interview.
Yeah.
And then I rocked up to the interview, asked a few kind of like discovery questions, and it was literally like, yeah, so you've already got the role.
Nice.
Just wanted to make sure you're normal, really. And showing up to the interview, like we've probably talked about it before, you've got some people with all their social media profiles, they've got them at festivals, drinking. So the company that you're going to be interviewing with, they're going to check that out. And if they see that, that's a red flag. And if you jump on, maybe you've got some stuff in the background that doesn't look good, at least wear a polo, have a nice watch, get a haircut for it. Like it depends. Like if you really want that job, you will show up professional. We talked about it the other day. Someone sent a Loom video to you with their shirt off.
Yeah.
It's like all these little things. It's like the standard is so low. Like if you show up professional, like you would for an in-person job interview, like, and you speak well, you're going to get the job.
100%. I think I really like how you use the word professional because treat yourself as a professional. You're your own business. A lot of people look at high ticket sales as a job and they come at it with that employee mindset where maybe they're working at Kmart or McDonald's or whatever. You're told what to do, But then it's like in this, you got to be proactive. You got to
100%.
treat yourself like a business owner. How would a business owner show up? Cool. So then you got on the offer, and what was the first month like?
First month, I did maybe $2,000, $3,000
Okay.
in commissions, which is okay, like for your third month in the space. But that was just it was a really big skill gap. And that skill gap, the only way to get around that is just to outwork. It's just the constant work and learning.
How did you know there was a skill gap?
I was told.
Okay.
I was told because the closer that I was paired up to set for their calendar, when we reviewed some calls, he's like, look, I'm going to be completely transparent with you. You're pretty average. And that's like, I'm okay to hear that. And then he's like, okay, so we know that you're average. Now let's focus on what we can do to get you to a certain level so we can both make money together. So it was like, okay, rather than talking about the problem, oh, you're bad. It's like, okay, talk about the problem, identify the problem, and then, okay, here's the solution. We do more training, do more calls. I want you to study this, review this call after this training call after this meeting, and then we can actually focus on a solution to get you to where you want to go. We both make the money we want to make.
What were the first few things that you had to actually improve skill-wise?
It was my sales tonality. So it was like, I'll give you an example, like an outbound call. Hey, Orlando, it's just Jax here. How are you? It's rather than, hey, Orlando. So like switching up the tonality, because how you think sales is from the movies, you think it's like, for how a traditional car salesperson is. It's like, hey, great to see you. How's the day been? Instant sales resistance.
Yeah.
So I had to drop that. That was the biggest thing. And then learning how to probe naturally, like probing on what they say. Like, how do you mean exactly? Mirroring all of those like foundational sales skills. When they started stacking up together and I got familiar with the setting process, understood how much pain I needed to get, understand like, okay, this is what we have to do here. When they say this, say why. That's when it all really started to come together for me.
And then once you started to learn those things, your training, what were like the next few months? Like month 2, month 3, month 4? How'd you progress?
So I think the second full month, I did around 6,000 AUD.
True.
And then the third full month, did 10.7.
So your third month of the company, you did 10.7.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, actually, it might have been. It was my second full month. No, yeah, third full month of the company did 10.7.
Damn, that's actually very quick.
Yeah.
So like 6 months in sales total to get to that point.
Yeah.
To get to 10.7K, 3 months with one company.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. I mean, again, comparing it to university. Or like even just in general, like my perception of money, I don't know about you, but it's so fucked because like the people we hang out with, like we all have big goals and big ambitions. But I don't know if you know this, the average salary in Australia is like 65,000 per year, which is like, I think $6,000 a month or something.
Yep.
So you did that your second month in sales, and then third month, you didn't do double. You almost did double, but like 10.7 compared to 6.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I know.
When you hit it, like, did you have a feeling? Or were you just like, oh yeah, I expected this?
I actually didn't have a feeling, but I forced myself to have a feeling. It was like, okay, cool, we did a 5-figure month. Now I want to do 15. Now I want to do 20. But then I'm like, okay, hang on, whoa. You're 18, you're 6 months into sales. You've just made 10.7K in 1 month. We take a moment to share my gratitude, did some gratitude journaling. I'm like, okay, let me sit in it. Went out for a nice dinner with Zen and then back to work.
Nice.
Because like, I really forced myself to sit in it. Because the feeling happened like, I was probably like 22 days into the month I hit it. Like just hit over that 10K mark. And I was like, what? This is crazy, but I don't feel it's like the what's next.
Yeah.
That's what was going on in my mind. What's next?
It's so easy to just keep being like, what's next? What's next? What's next? It's good you force yourself to actually notice it and like have the nice dinner. I said that to Anton as well. Like when he had his first 10K month, I was like, enjoy it. Like do something nice. You want to celebrate the wins because otherwise, next thing you know, you're just constantly scaling. And then you look back and you're like, oh yeah, like I don't even remember like hitting that. Oh yeah, that was cool. So it's good that you did that.
Yeah, definitely.
So right now we're in June, end of June. So what month was that you hit 10.7? How long ago was that?
That was December. Last December, yeah.
And then what did it look like from there? Because obviously sales can be up and down, right? Like,
Yeah.
what did it look like for the next few months after
So
that?
for the next few months after that was sitting around 8,000 to 10,000 a month, pretty consistently. And then towards the end of my time with that company, ended up making a transition from setting to closing, which was great.
Nice.
And then in there, closed a 24,800 deal, paid in full. So it was a pretty nice feeling.
At 19?
Yeah. That was when I was 18.
Still 18?
It was like a week before my 19th birthday.
That's crazy.
So I know I've got the record for the youngest deal closed in the company, let alone a 24.8k deal. So it was a nice commission I was enjoying on my birthday.
100%. And did you have the beard at the time?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
no, I
didn't
didn't.
have
That
the
came
beard.
after.
Yeah, nice. That's so sick, man. Like I said, I thought at 18 I was mature. Like closing 24k deals at 18.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so you were in the Gold Coast at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started traveling, what, like only a few months ago, right? Or did
Yes.
you do a bit of travels before that?
No. I left May the 8th. May, June. Yeah, May the 8th this year. Prior to that, it was like literally a year and a half locked in. Let's make something happen. And then once I'm like, okay, I've got some funds behind me just in case in my bank account, et cetera, now I'm traveling, I'm not coming back. But like I wanted to move out like probably mid last year. I'm like, okay, I want to go to Koh Samui, want to go to Bali. But I'm like, no, like do it when it's right so I never have to come back if I don't want to.
That's cool. How important was it for you to lock in?
It's everything. It is everything. Like I really didn't go out for 1 year. And like I was physical training, all the self-development stuff, and then sales like 6 days a week really. And yeah, it was everything. I think if you can lock in for 6 to 12 months, like really dedicate yourself to like business and entrepreneurship, that sets the foundation. Like if you can literally lock in for 6 to 12 months, you don't have to do a huge lock-in like that again. Yes, there are seasons where you need business focus, nothing else matters. But if you can front load that 6 to 12 months of work, catch up to everyone, then you can live that life a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Live that lifestyle that you want to live.
And I don't think people realize how hard that actually is. At 18, good looking guy in the Gold Coast, like there's a party scene in the Gold Coast, lots of beautiful women, like, and you didn't go out at all, just locked in 6 days a week, gymming. Like, where did that mentality come from? Like, how did you have that level of discipline?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting you brought that up. I went through that kind of like that, let's call it the party phase, when Zen went through the party phase when he was about 18. So I would have been about 15. And like that's the time I was suspended in school, a little bit naughtier, and like drinking at that age, et cetera, et cetera. And then when it got to like age 17 and 18, when all my friends are like, oh, let's go out to the pub, bro, let's go to the casino. I'm like, oh, you guys still doing this? I was doing this when I was 15. Like, this is boring. Tell me something new. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about money. So you generally find a lot of people, they hit around that 20, 21 mark. They've had that partying, and now they're like, okay, now I've actually got to do something with my life. But I just front-loaded that, which I'm really grateful for. I did that when I was like 15, 16. And then age 17, 18, it's like, okay, let's do something, guys. Like, let's do something productive. So it was a blessing in disguise. So I thank my brother for that.
How important has having an older brother been to you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like, I remember probably 3 years ago, I had a football injury. Like, here's an example. Had a football injury, got out of shape, and no one told me what I needed to hear. My brother said, bro, you know I love you. I'm going to tell you right now, you look fat. You look really unattractive. Next day, got a gym membership. Like that, I needed that accountability. Like someone, because like he was shredded. Like he's had a really good physique for the last 3-4 years. And it goes back to what I was saying before. Listen to someone that has done something in an area of life that you want to achieve. So him like setting that path of, okay, bro, this is a standard that the Heatons have for their health. I was like, okay, boom. And then I actually got him into sales. So it's like, bro, I'm getting into some online money. Let's figure this out. This is the standard we now have for our last name. And he's like, cool, let's do it. So we've bounced that standard off each other with certain aspects. Like if I start reading, bro, how many books have you read this month? Oh, none. Well, I've read 2. So catch up, motherfucker. And it's always been like it's competitive, and that's what you want. Like certain aspects of life, if he's achieved something or I've achieved something, hey bro, catch up. This is what we need to do.
Yeah.
So, but it's yes, he's been my older brother, like leading the path. But I would say over the last 2 years, we've like been equals. No one's like the older brother, the younger brother. He's like he's better in some areas of life. I'm better in some areas of life. Let's bounce that off each other and bring each other up.
You complement each other.
Yeah, 100%.
That's super cool because you're living together as well, right?
Yeah.
Like whenever, oh man, the times I've lived with other guys have been, it sounds so gay, but like they've been some of my favorite times, bro. Like you getting up, hey, I'm going on a run, motherfucker. Wake up.
Yeah.
And it's like the competitive instinct in you is like, I can't let this man go on a run.
Yeah, it's
right
like, what
now.
time were you up, bro? I was 7 a.m. I was up at 5.
And it's sick. It pushes you to be better, let alone with your brother who you know respects you and loves you, right? And like has like his intent will never be ill towards you, right? Sometimes if you're with the wrong people, there can be that competitiveness, but it's also like it's kind of coming from like a negative place. But when you've got someone that you know it's coming from a good place, they want the best for you and they're pushing you to be better, that's like match made in heaven.
It's everything.
That's
like I noticed that the month I lived in Thailand, in Koh Samui, I lived by myself, and then I kind of got a Thai girlfriend pretty much, and I noticed when she was over, things started to slip. It's like, oh, this is pretty good. Like, oh, do I want to do this work? Like, life's pretty good. I'm chilling by a beach with a lovely lady, making money. And then as soon as I move in with Zen and Nick's our other roommate, it's like, okay, boys, we're on.
Yeah.
Like, we're on. What time were you up, bro? How many sessions have you done today? Like, how much work have you done?
Yeah.
Now it's like a challenge, like who can work the most in the day, who can train the most, who's in the best shape, but in a really positive manner.
Yeah.
So it's I think probably for the rest of my life, maybe, or at least throughout my whole 20s, I'll make sure I'm living with other guys, or at least my brother.
That's sick.
Because, like, the environment. Because when you're slipping, they call you out on it. And, like, if someone actually cares about you, they're going to tell you. But if you're slipping and someone doesn't call you out on it, they don't have your true motive at heart.
Yeah.
So if they call you out on it, boom, thank you, bro. That was hard to hear, but let's focus on the solution now.
You need it.
Yeah.
And obviously it depends on what girl you're with, but a lot of the times, like living with a girl, it's so easy to get comfortable. I found anyway, because, you know, once you get to a certain point, once basic needs are covered, food, shelter, you're in a nice bed, doing nice things.
Life's pretty good.
Yeah. Whereas with guys, like, we want to keep pushing. I want to talk to you about this. So before Thailand, what was your dating life like?
Yeah, so from May 2024 to before I moved to Thailand, 1 year, no dating, no female encounters, let's say. And I think that was extremely pivotal. It was pivotal. Pivotable?
Like beneficial?
Beneficial, yeah. That's what I meant to say. Beneficial. And like, it was hard. There was a lot of temptations, but I'm like, no, I'm locked in right now. I don't even really have the time. And I think that is, it's really needed to build the base.
Yeah. Especially at 18, like you got so much time anyway.
Yeah.
Like you might as well just lock in.
Yeah. And I understand, like, the older you get, if you're constantly on self-development, it just opens up more doors in the dating world.
Yeah.
Like, you get to 30, like, if you've got your money on point, your physique, your charisma, your knowledge, life experience, like, you can really get whoever you want.
100%. And I wouldn't be a good marketer if I didn't ask you this. You joined Closers Cult in around like December-ish. I think it was end of December or start of January, something like that. You and Zen both jumped in. Well, yeah, man. How can I help? What are you looking for?
All right. I heard phenomenal things from Tristan, and he said you get a lot of attention and a lot of love on the training calls. It's not just a call where you've got 30, 40, 50 people on there. Little bit less, so you get a lot more attention, essentially.
What was the mindset behind jumping in? Because you already had your first mentor. Why did you want more mentorship?
So as soon as you invest with your first mentor and understand what an investment can get you, you never go back from investing. So I was seeing Orlando's content. I was like, what? Who is this guy? Is he who he says he's booked a call with you? And I'm like, this is my guy. Let's invest, because everyone's got something to teach you. But so when you invest with a mentor, go all in, learn all of their theses. But when you have that mindset of constantly improving, getting a mentor is never going to hurt you. Like, I've never not ROI'd from a mentorship.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw your content. I think you've actually probably at 200 followers. I followed you, and you sent me a cold DM, like a networking DM.
Yeah.
And then a few months later, I'm purchasing your mastermind.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's funny how the world works.
Yeah, it's cool. I started at like a few hundred followers, and then just been posting a shit ton and like growing that and continuing to grow. But
and not to mention, like, from the people that I knew were in the cult, because like in the sales networking space, positive thing. Like, I've never heard a negative thing about Orlando Closers Cult. So I'm like, okay, this gives me confidence investing with this guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, because you guys still joined, not towards the start of it, but I mean recently it's growing a lot faster. Obviously, you've seen, but it was before that for sure. And obviously we had guys like Tristan in and I mean Storm and some of the other guys you probably heard things about. That's sick. And what when you came in, like, what were some of the main things you learned that maybe, were different, or like new pieces of insight that you got?
Yeah, so the emphasis you have on pre-handling objections, and like the remove DIY question, that was phenomenal. And like your way of selling as the chill closer, it resonated with me a lot, because some of the teachings that I was learning on the e-commerce offer, it was like having some really tough conversations, but almost like cross the line, like challenging people, like next level. I'm like, oh, this doesn't really resonate with me. Had a chat with you about it, and you challenged me on something. I said, hey, I learned this from someone in the offer. They said to say this. You're like, bro, do you want to have that conversation? Here's what you should say instead. And I'm like, oh, wow. This resonates with me a lot more, that way of selling. And not to mention all of the objection handling, bro, the community in there, the calls, so much value in that. Really got a lot from your program. So that was just a redundant question there, because I've already got the reason. That was just going for the sake of the process, hey? Because I just
you can skip that. Now just go into tangible goal. Like, okay, sweet. So you want to transition. You know why he wants to transition. How much does he need to be making so that he can? That's where you're at now.
To keep it where it is now, and then to add an extra stream of income that doesn't involve me, putting my blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Right. Okay. So like, I wouldn't get lost like that. I'm just curious to see where you would go from here, Orlando.
Now, tangible goal.
Quick question on that. How would you apply that to a setting call?
I agree. You need to challenge people. You need to call them out. You need to have tough conversations, but there's a way to do it. Because I think a lot of people misassociate tough conversation with being a cock. Like you can have a tough conversation but still be genuine and maybe even still have a smile on your face. Yeah. And like kind of call people out like, hey man, you can be real. Like that's not the case. Like this is what actually happened.
Put a smile on, hey, why haven't you done it? In 3 years. Be real with me.
It's so disarming, and it's cool that you notice that, because that's something I'm really conscious of. Like there's so many savages in the space right now. Like I see it all over my feed. Yeah. And it's sick. Like it makes for great content. I'd probably have more followers if I sold like that. But I like the feeling of being able to close and pre-handle all these objections, all these beliefs, reframe people, call them out on their shit. Yep. But by the end, we're like best mates. Yeah. And they can feel my intent, like, yeah, we're going to fucking crush.
And they're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling me out on my bullshit. Yeah. Like I remember the call review I've seen where you ask for the audio, like, any think about it objections, any partner objections, because you pre-handled it all. Towards the end, he's like, no, let's do it. And then after the call, you were saying like he's like, yeah, bro, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I needed to get over myself.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're genuinely helping people. It's a phenomenal feeling.
Oh, when I on the business mentorship for fitness coaches offer that I was on, I would have people that I'd literally objection handled for like an hour and a half, like just straight loop, like all this fear, and then finally got them over the line. And then even spending another 10 minutes after getting them over the line to make sure they don't like refund or they
Yep.
don't have buyer's remorse. And then seeing them at an in-person event where like I'm teaching them about sales because they're fitness coaches. And then they come up and they're like, you know, the stuff you were teaching, I remember you doing that to me.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful you did. Like,
Yeah.
thank you, because I was being a little bitch. And I'm like, sick. That's my job.
That's one of the most fulfilling feelings in the world. Hey?
Yeah. And that's
Brilliant.
the power of closing and persuasion.
Yeah.
It's not like calling people they're fat. Like, you can call people fat if you're close with them. But like a prospect saying like, yeah, the reason you don't have results is because you're fat. Like, I'm seeing that on my feed. I'm like, what the fuck has closing become, bro?
Oh, relax, guys.
Yeah, let's like take a step back here. But how have you found sales improve your personal life, like your relationships, your conversations?
Well, sales, in one sentence, is self-development. It's self-mastery. Like when other aspects of your life are on track, like you dialed in your training, you perform better in sales. And when I know there's a direct correlation to the things I do away from sales, directly correlates how much money I make on my sales calls, you're a lot more switched on in other aspects of your life. Because you know, like, if I go out this night or if I drink this for the call tomorrow, I'm not going to perform and I'm going to lose money. So you're definitely conscious of the connection between the things you do off the calls and how it affects the on the calls, which really holds you accountable in a way. Because you're like, okay, if I go out on a Saturday night and I've got a call Sunday morning, yeah, I know I'm not treating my body right, but I could miss out on 2-3 grand in commission. So it's that opportunity cost. So when you have that mindset, it really holds yourself accountable.
100%.
And not to mention in social settings and networking, like sales, like when you're in the online sales space, you have to learn how to network. And that is such a valuable skill. Like if you learn sales, you learn communication. And if you're learning sales in the online space, you learn networking. And these are like, if you get these skills in your teens and 20s, you just set your life up for success.
Yeah. I mean, even that was like when I got to Dubai, like I had one connection and then I left a good impression. And then before I knew it, I was plugged in. Like I knew half the people there. But if I left a bad impression or I wasn't used to like networking, as weird as it might sound, like I wouldn't have had that.
Yep.
So that's cool.
100%.
And then I guess when you say it was like personal development for you, aside from like communication wise, what were like the actual things you had to improve on as a person to get good at sales?
I understood with sales, you really are a human journal for the people that you have a conversation with. So it actually got me into journaling and questioning myself, because the questions I would ask people, like, why haven't you done anything? Why is 10K a month so important? I started to ask myself that because I didn't have those answers. And once I had those answers, okay, this is my why, this is my motive, I had more congruency on my sales calls. And I genuinely have learned a lot about myself with sales. I think that would be the biggest thing. And understanding why I want something, what my why is, what my purpose is, and really what the end goal is with sales and with business. So I got a lot of clarity.
Yeah, it's one of the most powerful things you can do is take yourself through a sales process.
100%.
That's why sometimes I really enjoy jumping on sales calls myself and being a prospect, because one, I get to see what it's like being on the other end, and like it's so funny because then when I get asked dumb questions, that's when I start to be that prospect that's like annoying.
A-type, the annoying one.
Yeah, but it's like,
guy. Yeah.
But I don't start off that way. It's because you ask me such dumb questions. Of course, I'm going to be like, hey, can we get to the point? But if you ask like good questions, you actually listen, and there's good intent. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's less likely you get that. So
yeah, well, I remember when we had our sales call. So end of December last year, you were asking me my why now. And I gave you a shit response, and you kept looping to get a good response. And I'm like, why do I want a mentor right now?
you know, we've been chatting for a bit. You've followed me for ages. Like, what's making now the time?
Making now the time.
Yeah, you followed me for, you know, months. You've known Tristan was in there for months. Like, what's shifted recently to where you're like, okay, now you actually want to join?
Yeah, I've got to give you a good answer because I know I wouldn't take a shitty answer from someone. I'm going to be honest, bro. I'm not sure. And then we eventually got to the response. I'm like, oh, wow. Didn't think of it like that.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
We were talking about it yesterday.
Well, because this is the thing. Sometimes sales guys will get triggered if they don't get the answer they want because they think the prospect's hiding it or they're trying to avoid it. But a lot of the time, people just don't have these conversations in their personal life. You know, it's not often people are asking them about their why, about their goals, their desires, calling them out potentially on like why they haven't done anything.
Yeah, and it is tough for a lot of these people. Like, let's look at a typical tradie. They have maybe some issues in their personal life. They're working long hours at work. Their body's sore. Like, this is a type of prospect that we deal with probably on a day-to-day basis. They go to the pub, they talk about their problems, complain to their friends. No one actually challenges and say, okay, but whose responsibility is it to make a change? So when you're having these conversations with people, like, you're having conversations that they've probably never had in their life. And you need to understand that. So you need to be respectful without forcing, like, just challenging them. You've got to come from an empathetic and sympathetic place and say, look, I can understand why you've never thought about it. But if you did think about it, like, what's been going on, man?
And that's why empathy is so important, but it's not empathy in the sense that you feel bad for someone or you feel sorry for them. It's, I can understand why you think that way, and I might not personally agree with it, but I can understand how you got to that conclusion, right? Like, I can look at someone that has a huge victim mentality and blames the world for all their problems, and I completely disagree with that, but I can look at their life and say, I see why you came to that perspective, because you maybe had life experiences that shaped the way you think about the world, which led to that belief. And that's everything.
Yeah. It's their conditioning.
Yeah.
It's the matrix.
Yeah.
Like, the indoctrination. Like, once you actually step out of it, you're like, wow, I actually feel bad for these people. They don't know anything else. So I can't just write them off. It's like, what can I expect? Like, you haven't been given the tools. So yeah, it's brilliant.
What are your thoughts on, because now you're starting to travel, right? You went to Thailand, now you're here in Bali. What's been your experience like getting outside of Australia?
Definitely a level up. Like, from me moving out of Australia, not only moved countries, moved out of home, now got responsibilities, is on my shoulder. I love it. And then, like, the international network, meeting people from all aspects of life, having some really interesting conversations, learning about industries I didn't even know was a thing. It's been an immense level up. And especially with the villa we've got here in Bali with the boys, I'm about 7 weeks away from a boxing fight. And, you know, Nick, he's focused on, like, scaling a systems business. Zen's dialed in with sales and e-commerce. It's like we're all locked in. It's definitely opened my eyes to a different level of being on your purpose. So I would say that's been the biggest takeaway so far.
That's sick. And all of these interactions you have, like, I noticed for me, I started traveling about 15 months ago, around March last year. And all of the little micro conversations, whether it's like we were in the spa yesterday, you know, talking to that random guy, or you're in the sauna, or you meet people here and there, like, all of that helps you with sales as well, but also just understanding how to talk to people, because you meet some characters.
Oh, yeah, it's you could say that again. You definitely meet some characters.
Yeah, and then you learn, like, how they think and their perspectives on the world and how to relate to them, and all of that helps you with sales. And also, like, you strike me, you know, you're 19 now, but you do strike me as someone that in the future probably wants to have your own business. How important do you think learning sales will be for whatever business you start in the future?
When I have my sons, I will make them get into martial arts and do sales. Like, that is the foundation, guys. I want you doing sales and then go start a business, because it's everything. You learn how to, like, interact with suppliers, vendors, develop business relationships, actually get someone on a call and know how to like close them, know how to sell your product in a way so you can actually get money to make your business afloat, because it is everything. Like, there is no business without sales. And once you learn sales, especially in the high ticket sales space, you understand, okay, first of all, sales, but you understand how the leadership structure is in that company. So done right, you can tick off sales, leadership, And then because you're on sales calls, that's directly correlated with marketing. So, okay, when they do this in the marketing funnel, okay, this new funnel results to this type of lead. So you actually learn marketing as well. So then when you go to launch your business, you're highly competent in sales and fairly competent in leadership and marketing. So it really just sets a foundation for everything.
Yeah. And you're able to be part of companies that are making a lot of money, and you can see how they operate.
Exactly.
You can see how the business owner is, how the team is, what they do well, what they don't do well, what you do differently.
Yeah. Well, I had that realization a couple months into the last company. I was like, oh, wow, I'm 18 years old working in a full corporate company. We've got people making like 500 grand a year in the sales department. I'm like, wow, how did we get here? And just seeing how they, how the business setup is.
Yeah.
It's just life skills. So when you launch your business, okay, I really like how they did this. Don't like how they did that. So you can see the whole infrastructure, the systems, what software they use, how the intranet in the company is. So it's brilliant.
And what's on, before we wrap up, what's on like the horizon for you? So now, we forgot to mention, I don't know how clear we made it, but you made that sort of money while you're appointment setting, like not even closing.
Yeah.
So what's on the horizon for the next, we're halfway through the year, for the next, say, 6 months?
So next 6 months is a new offer for closing to really hone in the skill and just get the reps in, obviously make some good coin. And then the start of next year, so for Q1, I'm going to move to South America. Hope to see you there, bro.
True.
And jump on a US offer and see how much commissions we can make in a month. And then potentially explore like a business route around that time. But really just dial in with the closing, because I feel like, to an extent, I know you'd never fully completed something, but setting, I feel like I've ticked that skill off. Now closing, I really just want to get like next level obsessed and tick that skill off, and then go into the next thing from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool, bro. It's been a pleasure, man. Good having you on, and we'll have some more fun while we're both in Bali.
Definitely.
Probably more work than fun. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
Pleasure, Orlando. Thank you, brother.
Seeing you. Alrighty, guys, I hope you enjoyed that podcast with Jax. Now, if you do want to learn more about how guys like Jax are making 10, 15, even $20,000 or $30,000 a month from high ticket sales, you can just click the link in the description. It's a video walking you through it step by step. And any questions you have, you can always message me on Instagram as well. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.